Hello, I'm Bill Serban, Director of the Center for Advancing Teaching and Learning at the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse. This presentation explores ways to improve students' academic performance by using brief social psychological interventions. In this series, I examine three interventions: values affirmation, social belonging, and causal attributions. These are brief exercises that target students' thoughts, feelings, and beliefs in and about school, but do not teach academic content. They are intended to help students deal with common psychological barriers that undermine achievement. As you will see, these brief interventions can have a big effect on short and long-term academic achievement. This is part 3 of the series and focuses on causal attributions. Consider this scenario. Two first-year college students, Sam and Sarah, received D's on their first calculus test. Sam is very upset and anxious about his performance and finds it difficult to concentrate. Sarah shrugs off her performance, buckles down, and studies harder for the next test. Why does one student respond to the poor grade with anxiety and helplessness, whereas the other redoubles her efforts? A key factor is what each student believes is the root cause of his or her performance. It is likely that Sam believes his poor grade reflects low ability. As a consequence, he starts to feel anxious about whether there is anything he can do to improve. Sarah, on the other hand, views her poor grade as due to poor preparation. She can do better next time by studying more effectively. These reasons that students use to explain their performance are causal attributions. An attribution, then, is the causal reason a person uses to explain outcomes and events. Students can explain academic setbacks in various ways. Sam believes he did poorly because of lack of ability in the subject. Sarah because of poor effort. Another might attribute poor performance to the difficulty of the task, bad luck, or poor instruction. There is a link between the type of attribution students use and their motivation and persistence. For example, if you believe that you do poorly in a subject because you lack ability, you are also likely to believe that there is no point in trying. Your effort and motivation are likely to be weak. Conversely, if you attribute poor performance to lack of effort, you are more likely in the future to improve your preparation, try harder, and persist. Here's an example of an attribution intervention. In one session, students who were struggling in their first year of college watched videos of upper-class students describe how their grades in college were low at first but improved over time. Simple exposure to these video accounts had an effect on students. Students performed better on sample GRE exam questions. A year later, the students in the intervention had GPAs that were 0.27 grade points higher than students in a control group, and the intervention students were 80% less likely to drop out of college. Why does the attribution intervention improve performance? The intervention is intended to lead students to attribute academic setbacks to unstable rather than stable factors. That is, by changing students' attributions, it is possible to influence their future effort and persistence. If students interpret setbacks as due to their own effort, they are more likely to put forth more effort, look for ways to improve their effort, seek help, and try to study more effectively. If they interpret their poor performance as due to lack of ability, they are more likely to see future effort as futile and hopeless. As we have seen with other types of social psychological interventions, attribution training is brief, easy to use, and can have a strong positive effect on students' immediate and long-term academic achievement. Attributional training is a tool educators can use to help students overcome their own self-defeating thoughts and beliefs. This intervention is likely to be most effective with students who lack confidence in one or more subject areas and view themselves as unable to improve. Students often view intelligence as a fixed quantity, which they cannot change. Attributional interventions are most likely to succeed if they focus on getting students to think about how performance is determined by effort, how one can improve performance by exerting stronger effort and more effective effort, and that one can expand ability through practice and hard work. I would urge you to refer to the original research and examine the procedures carefully. Despite their simplicity, the procedures have been carefully designed. Be careful to follow the research-based protocol, or you may inadvertently undermine its effectiveness. Finally, let me conclude with a few general comments about using attribution training in academic settings. Although many research studies have been successful, we don't know how well an intervention may work in all contexts. Think of your initial efforts as trying to replicate attributional training studies with your students in your context. Attend carefully to how your students respond. Your initial efforts can lead you to modify the procedures and make them more appropriate for your situation. Instructors can support attributional training by the type of feedback and encouragement they give students in their courses. Monitor yourself to see whether your feedback helps students see the connection between their effort and improvement in the course. And finally, attribution training does not trump bad instruction. It won't enable students to overcome the negative effects of bad teaching. If you would like access to the references cited in this presentation, as well as additional print and multimedia references related to causal attribution, go to the Exploring How Students Learn website as shown on the screen.